this is Norm from the Board Game Museum, and today I'm going to be looking at some more games that are dated from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. Now, I'm getting these games from an auction page, bidquare.com, and they've recently had an auction for a lot of these older antique games, and these games are pretty incredible to look at. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I know about them. My friend Bob Finn from the AGPI and I had a live cast, and then I did a live cast of the actual auction itself. He was talking about the games, and it's pretty fascinating to look at. You get a really good idea of the time period and just what kind of games were out there. But we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at some of them, and we will go from there. So here's 216 Horseshoe. Now, I don't really know much about the rules. I do know that most of these games were spin and move or roll and move, and some of them had more strategy to them, like using checkers. So here's has a fold-out game board, and a lot of these boards were big too. There were some that were like over 3 feet in length. But here's this particular game. So as you can see, a lot of these collectors buy it for the artwork mainly, not necessarily for the gameplay, because the gameplay was pretty basic. But a lot of these companies did some really nice artwork. And this is the Horseshoe game. Let's see here when this came out. This one came out in the 20th century. And so, yeah, there's that one. All right, next. Here's 2 fish pond games. This has Magnetic Fish Pond by Milton Bradley, and then the Game of Fish Pond by McLaughlin Brothers. Fairly big size here. And let's take a closer look at them over here. This is just some of the pictures. Magnetic Fish Pond. And here is a look at the rules. Can't really see them too well from where I'm at, but the rules are very, very simple. But again, just fantastic artwork. Just look at that. Pretty amazing looking stuff. Here's a game called the Combination Bicycle Race Game. This is from 1890. This was a Milton Bradley game. Had stained wood and lithographed fold-out boards. Race game on one side and multiple games on the other side. So here's the regular game here. And then here is the back of the game. I believe this is the back, but just look at that artwork. That is incredible to look at. Now, some of these games, when they did this auction, I don't think I saw a game that sold for under $750. There were some games that sold for thousands of dollars, and the most expensive one sold for $20,000 because it was just so rare, and definitely a collector's item. Okay, here we go. Here is the Merry Hunt. This is early 20th century with a wood frame game board with hunters in colonial garb. So let's see here. There's a little spinner over there, and there's the board itself. Here's a closer look at the board. There's the rules over there. Again, very short rules, but again, just great artwork. I would love to actually try to play some of these games if I could. All right, let's keep moving. My friend Bob knows way more about these games than I do, but I thought I would just kind of show these games to you. There were a couple that he had told me about that had some pretty interesting history behind it. Anyway, let's see. We got Metagrams here. You got like these little dice cup holders. Some of these little boards over here. Let's see what this one was about. All 44 strips according to the alphabet puzzle. Bingo type game with lithographed paper and then die cups. And this is from 1875. Wow. That's pretty incredible. Okay, here's one called Spear's Game of Fox Hunting. And let's see. This is a UK game. It had a 4-part fold-out game board. And this is what its measurements were. This is from early 20th century. And these games are in really good condition too. And I do have the actual auction. I actually did do a live cast of it, or did a live cast of it. And if you want to view it, you're more than welcome to. It was pretty fun to watch for sure. Just watching these games go for like a lot of money. Anyway, here's a closer look at the board and some of the pieces. Look at some of those pieces. And this is like from over 100 years ago. That's amazing. All right. Here's the United Games of World Series Baseball. Now, they did make a lot of baseball games. And a couple of the baseball games that I saw went for a lot of money. And let's see what we got here with this one here. Okay, so this has like some spinners over here. And so I guess whatever you spun, that's what actually would happen with the infielders here, pitcher and batter. That's unique. And let's see here. I guess they have a picture of the rules. Again, I can't really see what the rules say, but it is a unique looking game with all those spinners. That's very cool. All right. Okay, here we got 5 early history games. I'll go ahead and take a look at these. These are what they are. Look like they're pretty small games. TikTok, Peter Cottle. But one of the reasons I like these is because you really get an idea of like the time period too, the way people dressed and the way they did their hair, and a lot of them have pictures of the outside too. So yeah, it gives you a real sense of like what it was like back then. That's the only picture they have of those, but yeah, those are really nice too. All right, moving on. Let's try. These are 3 frame games. Here's Black Beauty and The Journey to Bethlehem. Look at that spinner. Wow. And then Derby Steeplechase. And this looks like a spin and move game over here where you just move around this track with those pieces. That's what it looks like to me. But yeah, very cool looking. All right, I'll check this out. This is the game of Bob. Again, I'm not quite sure how it plays, but it transforms into a table with 4 wooden legs. And you can see it's got those hammers there. 18.5 inches, and it comes with these little wooden mallets causing the Bob playing piece of the game or lose holes. That's really cool. So that's a look at the game itself. And here's a picture of what it looks like from the top part. So I guess what you would do is you would just hit the hammer onto the table and it would move the ball into certain holes. That's a pretty cool idea. Man, that would be a fun game if they could remake that. That's cool. Yeah, very nice. Okay, 2 clown theme games here. Not sure how that's pronounced. Hooplo here. We go again, and then copying the clown. Target game where one tosses the cloth hats onto a clown stand. Okay, there's a picture of it there. There's like the pieces of cloth and some of the pieces over there. Pretty cool. I guess it wouldn't be for people who don't like clowns. All right. Here's a basketball and football games from the early 20th century here. Let's see here. This is a card game where each player on the drawn cards is recorded on paper charts. That would be for the touchdown game. And we'll take a quick peek over here. Those look like spinners. I could be wrong. And then here's the touchdown game. We would just, I guess, keep track of what's going on there on the sheets. Look at the helmets on those guys. They don't wear helmets like that anymore. That's for sure. Okay, here we go. 3 early letter block and card games. So these are literary and quotations games. I guess again, card games. This is McLaughlin Brothers. And let's take a look here. So these are American letter blocks for word building. A Parker Brothers game about quotations, and then the game of Guess Again. So yeah, very unique. I'm kind of curious what the rules of these games are. I know that they're pretty simple to learn. They're not like these games at all, but they're still unique. All right, here's a gun. The game of Rough Riders with a yeehaw. All right, let's see if it says anything here. Fairly big game board. let's take a look here. We got a spinner. I guess, you just take your tokens, you just move them around the board like most of the games were. Yeah, that's a pretty cool looking game too. All right, let's keep going, guys. 2 larger early board games. King's Coits and the Game of Chivalry from Parker Brothers, circa 1888. All right, let's take a look here. Bob had told me about this. This game has rings in it, and I believe you use those rings to try to score points here in these pegs, I think. Here's the Game of Chivalry, and this was a skill game that was pretty popular, I believe, back then. Here's a picture of 2 gentlemen playing it. Yeah, there's a picture of it right there. And I think that was one of the earlier strategy games from back in the day. Not way back in the day, but it was pretty popular, I understand, from that time period. Okay, moving. All right. The Pilgrims Progress. All right. This is lithograph paper, woodblock spinner. Okay, so we'll take a look here. Games of the Pilgrim Progress, Going to Sunday School, and the Tower of Babel. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder. I don't know whether there's a spinner on there or not, but yeah, look at the artwork. That's why these games go for so much, is because of the artwork and because of the rarity. All right, there's some card games. Here's one called Course A Ains. It's a donkey race game. Lithographed interior, racetrack that houses the key wind down music box inside lever that causes the carved wood donkeys with paper figures and bristle wires to vibrate, causing the racing motion. Let's see. This is early 20th century as well. Yeah, look at that artwork. And there's a picture of it too. And those little tracks with the little horses and stuff. Wow. That's very cool. I would review these games if I had them. I might see if I can maybe find a way to do some reviews of these without actually getting them. Here we go. We'll take a look at this one. All right, here is Yalo, the football card game. Big time football game. Simplified rules and instructions. I always like that. There's quarterback. I'll just check on the big picture here. Yeah, just some football games here. Let's see what it says about them. Both framed box with a game board. Pretty big. Nice. Here's one. This almost looks like trouble. This is Popular Games Inside Baseball. This is from 1911. Team of players in 1913 World Series. Has discs and includes these things as well. Let's take a look here. Yeah, just another really nice looking board. And I guess, and I'm totally guessing here, I'm guessing that this is a spinner that you use to spin. And you just go from there, and there's some scoring things as well. Yeah, I'm kind of curious how these baseball games play. I know that they're popular, like I had said back in the day. All right, I'll look at one more here. Captive Princess and Ambuscade, I think that's how it's pronounced. This is from 1888. Colorful imagery on the cover with instructions under the lid for playing either of the 2 games. Comes with its spinner. All right. Yeah, that's a pretty game board. That is really nice looking. Yeah, I love the artwork on these games. I would love it if they would actually make a way to where you could play these things. I know my friend Bob from the AGBI, he had introduced me to a lot of these games. He actually got like some canvases of like some of the box covers, which look really, really cool. And I wonder if there's a way where you could actually recreate some of these games. But yeah, they look incredible. I love the way these games look and the history behind them. All right. Okay, guys. Well, I am going to call it for now, and we'll look at some more of these older games if you're interested, and we'll see you later. Keep on gaming.